Hello everyone, today we are covering Women of Reddit. What is something about men that confuses you? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. When a girl sits in your lap, what does it feel like? And is there a right way and wrong way to do it? Frick, what do I do? But our face is like neutral as frick. My boyfriend and his friends play video games that make them angry and upset more often than not, but they insist they love them and are their favorite games. Competitiveness. Does having a dong feel uncomfortable when you wear pants? I feel like it would stick to your thigh and I think I wouldn't like that. The dong doesn't really get uncomfortable. Balls, however, need to be protected. Are nipples sensitive for men? It varies. Some love attention there. Some are neutral. Some hate it. I know this guy who I think likes me. He's usually really reserved around me, but every once in a while he'll just come up to me. Totally confident, but next minute he's shy again. Why? If he does like you, he's probably nervous. He's getting moments of courage that don't last forever. He might be looking for a clear go for it signal, so if you're interested, try approaching him during a shy moment. You making the move might be the sign he needs. What does it feel like to stick your dong in something? What's a comparable feeling? Depends on what you're sticking it in really. What's the deal with your 2-in-1 shampoos? My boyfriend has a 5-in-1 and I don't understand how it can wash everything. Face, hair, body, car, dishes, anything, lol. Have you ever had to wait in line for the bathroom? At tech conferences? All the time. There's always a bit of a joke about the tables being turned from the usual concert, sporting event type situation, because the circa 10% of attendees who are women have no weight at all. How do you tell if a guy likes you and how do I get a guy to like me? Don't be afraid to make the first move, even if you're anxious. Keep in mind that asking a guy out is a massive ego boost for him. Not in a bad way, more like this is the most positive thing to happen to me in years kind of way, and a guy will remember you being into him 4 years afterwards. Hell, I got a compliment from a girl I'd never spoken to years ago in high school and it still makes me feel better about myself. Is turning simple things, like a towel roll or a pool noodle, into a pretend gun an instinct for you lot? If it's gun-shaped and I'm within my bodies, absolutely. What is it like to have large jean pockets? We can put anything in it from switches to wallets. You name we can put it in our pockets. What is the most comfortable position to put your dong in inside of your underwear? Do you just point it down? Lay it to the left or right? Is there any time where you place it upward? What things dictate the position of your junk? My partner wears boxer briefs so I've got no info to go on. When it's soft, it doesn't matter what angle you put it in. Have you seen the video of a squid passing through sheets of glass that are only an inch apart? Dongs that aren't hard are typically a lot like that. My wife was pissed that I didn't know my best friend's birthday. Hell, I don't know any of theirs, and they always seem surprised when mine comes around. I don't think any of us actually care. We're all good. I celebrated my birthday with about the same people for the last few years. Their birthdays as well. We just generally know what season it is in. There was a guy who had a super obvious crush on me. Always went out of his way to find me, do things for me, find out my likes and dislikes, standing really close when talking to me, shyly flirting, etc. One day he whispered to someone, as I was walking by, "That's the girl I really like. Hi, Tina." Since I'm not Tina, I kept walking. After that he came up to me to say, "Oh my god, I think I called you Tina by accident. It's faux, right?" And on other days he'd seek me out to say, "Faux, how is your day going? Nailed it, right?" See, I remember. Finally asked him one day if he was seeing anyone and he was suddenly not interested in me. What the hell? One of our mutual male friends was mortified by that. When we talked later, and said, "I'm so sorry. I don't understand why he did that to you. He probably got scared." It's a lot easier imagining what you would do and planning a perfect life, rather than actually seizing the opportunity. When your dream knocks on the door it can be scary. Gonna get buried, but I gotta ask, I usually wear a robe. Just a robe. Around the house. Just my fiance and I, and sometimes a tit falls out. Is seeing a tit in the wild like that actually arousing? To be honest, I see my tits the same way you'll seem to think about your dongs when not fricking. It's there and it has a purpose. But it's just flappy blobs. Accidental nudity is fantastic. It's like finding money on the street. It's the same kind of rush. After getting married, me being a virgin, I asked my husband 10,383,929,473 questions about his peanuts. From, how do you pee? What does a boner feel like? Have you ever shaved your balls? Can you pee and have a boner at the same time? It's just so foreign. Like you have something sticking out between your legs. How is that just normal? How don't you? We were born with it. And have a million questions about whatever. It's as natural as having a foot. All the guys I know take so long in the bathroom. I dig why. There are 5 main reasons. Crying our eyes out. Taking a break from the world. Just sitting there thinking about nothing and relaxing. On their phones. Jacking off. Why do men scratch their balls so frequently? Are they itchy or does it feel good like putting a tip in your ear? Why do it in public? It is itchy. Does it actually hurt your feelings when you guys are mean to each other? Do you just not notice? Do you become desensitized? Men can say the most cruel things to one another and just keep it pushing. Whack. Friends can be mean to one another, because we know that in the end we really do like each other. We know that when your buddy calls you a moron that he doesn't really believe that. What does a kick to the groin feel like? The weird thing is that getting kicked in the balls hurts. But the pain is not actually in the dong, balls area itself. Maybe a little bit from the impact. But the pain is mostly in the lower stomach area. Then you have an immense feeling like you're at to puke. As someone who's friends with more males than females, male friendships baffle me. You rip into each other, and your female friends, like there's no tomorrow. If I threw any of your insults at a female friend, I'm not sure they'd speak to me for the next 24 hours, yet you all shrug it off like it's nothing. Everyone should have this quality. Although it's undeniable some of you blokes take it too far sometimes. On top of that, half of you don't even seem to know anything about your friends. Frig. I know everything about my pals from their star sign and parents' names through to their favorite food and drink. Yet I ask you when is Dan's birthday, knowing full well it's next week and we all need to organize something. And you're oblivious. You've been mates 4 years. Baffling. I think we don't mind the insults, because it's a bit fun and we know if we actually had a problem with each other we'd just not hang out or be physically fighting. Why don't male friends compliment each other? It very much seems that a lot of male friendship involves ripping in each other, which I sort of understand. But then a lot of men complain that they don't receive compliments. So why don't you compliment your friends? Many of the sincerest and best compliments I've received have come from my friends. Do compliments mean less if they come from another guy? We do. It happens. Just not as frequently cause we typically don't have a good gauge of if a buddy needs one. There also is an element of fear in not always knowing how one will be received. But you know what anyone will like at nearly any time? A laugh. Even if it's at your own expense. So yuck it up and back up. Buttercup. Cause your hair looks frickin' choice today. Bro. How they can roughhouse with each other like WWE. But as soon as a girl goes to the same, they act like they are British gentlemen who harm no ladies. Because it's really easy to assume we want to touch the woman just for the sake of touching her body. So it's best to just avoid it altogether. Do guys care if their girl has a bit of tummy fat or am I just super self-conscious? You are a bit self-conscious. If your belly isn't holding up your boobs, you're probably fine. Hiding thoughts, feelings and emotions. I was a very animated and affectionately rambunctious child with no qualms about showing and telling how I feel and what I think and stuck up for people I felt needed it. Countless instances of teasing, hassling accusations and harassment, detention, visits to the principal, mob beatings etc. Later, I'm now a very reserved and composed adult that can deal with any kind of pressure. Men hide their thoughts, feelings and emotions, because society is hostile to them. When women talk about sexual harassment being the defining universal experience of most women, I'd say just violently and emotionally abusive harassment to fall in line and behave is the universal experience of men. The obsession with size of your dong. I'm not going to pretend like I've had a ton of experience, but past a certain point, sex is just not comfortable or fun anymore. The best sex I ever had was with a guy who had a very average-sized dong. It's how you use it more than the size, in my opinion. He taught us that anything less than a huge bratwurst is inadequate. Wife asked how can I walk with my member between my legs. I retort how can she walk without tipping over with her fun bags in the front. Your wife clearly needs more ass to balance things out. The scratch and sniff. Every man I've spent a moderate amount of time with does this almost unconsciously. I don't get it. I've never needed or known any woman to dip a finger in and take a whiff. It's intoxicating, but shameful at the same time. Why must men leave a trail of clothing behind them when getting undressed? Hubby came home yesterday after being away for 2 months and suddenly my clean apartment has a trail of clothes from the front door to the front room and then to the bathroom. Efficiency. We got places to be and clothes to take off. The amount of hoops they will jump through to have sex with a woman once, evidently enjoy themselves, and then still ghost. They didn't see you as a romantic target, but a lustful one. Why can't men ever find anything? Honestly, it's right there. Then why can't I see it? Why does it take you at least 30 mn to poop? Seriously? You need more fiber. I don't know, I poop 30 seconds. Maybe 2 minutes later some additional poopy. Then I scroll Reddit for 25 additional minutes. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Why do you guys think farting is so funny? And why do you try to one-up each other? What's the deal? 'Cause it's like coughing, but from your butt. I'm a man and I'm here to say that what confuses us is the capacity of your closet. That's where all their pocket space went. Why are men so afraid of hugging? I'm not freaking asking you to marry me and serve me for the rest of your life. It's one hug. Hugs are healthy and cool. Yeah, as a guy I have a fear of hugging for sure. I enjoy the physical contact. But there is a lot of insecurity and overthinking here for me at least. Do I smell okay? Do they want to hug? How do we hug? Diagonal, straight across, one arm, and for some reason all of these have different social connotations, like one arm means we are friends, diagonals means friend. But straight means something closer than friends, so what kind of messages are you unintentionally sending with the hug we are making? How long do we hug? Pro hug, family hug, and long is awkward hug. Am I overdoing it? How do you continue the conversation after all this happened in a split second? I would rather keep my personal space and go for a warm, but respectful handshake so I don't accidentally breach your personal space and look like an idiot. For the love of God, I cannot understand why men do not wipe their peanuts after they pee. Like what? How is shaking it supposed to get rid of urine? Yes, that is exactly the point of shaking. Plus it's a little weird using a urinal, then walking into a stall to wipe your dong, then leave. How they don't get bored of playing the same video game 4 hours on end, every single day. Seriously? My fiancé has been playing Halo 5 and Rocket League almost every day since they came out. How does it not get boring? Just because it is the same game, it doesn't mean that it's the same every time. Different teammates and opponents mean that the match will be different. For example, I played about 950 hours of Counter-Strike and mainly on 3 different maps, but every match was a different from the dozens before it. Emotionally unavailable men that clearly feel something for you. Express interest, but pull away as soon as you start reciprocating. I understand being hurt, but I don't understand being so hurt that you completely swear off women or relationships. Seems irrational. I've met 2 men like this. They could be hurt from previous experiences, or the way you reciprocate is just not the right way for them. You also might just read their signs wrong. Why men don't reach out for help when they need it? In the same way that women do, men have higher suicide rates and are more likely to complete suicide. I lost my brother to suicide and I'll never understand why he didn't ask for help. And statistically, why his gender does not reach out for help, because every time I express a negative emotion I get a negative reaction, or if I'm lucky, no reaction at all. I learned at an early age that it's better to keep my feelings to myself. This spread to my whole personality as well. I was an outgoing kid, but now I'm quite reserved. It seems like men want me to have the most skill I possibly can in bed, without having any actual history of sleeping with men. Well then, on the flip side, there is nothing worse than sleeping with a girl with a 50+ body count that thinks giving a handjob is the same as trying to start a fire with 2 sticks. Please subscribe if you like the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Adios.